It's the member info. Whatever you want to know, come join the member info show. It's the info. It's the member info. Whatever you want to know, come join the member info show. It's the info. It's the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the member info show. It's the info. We got the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the member info show. It's the info. All over this nation, win, lose, or draw. You can bring your hate team, but if you want to win, please don't bring your debate team. We talk Japanese shogun, Aztecs, old mix, and African doga. Wait a minute, info. 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 Wait a minute. It's the info man and the lion den. 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 It's the info man, yup, it's the lion den. Yup, you can't fuck with us, no, so stop trying then. Still, it's the info man, yup, it's the lion den. Yup, you can't fuck with us, no, so stop trying then. Still heavyweight, so they try to infiltrate with hate. Knock my mill up off my plate, but we do not take the bait. Don't hesitate, when it's time to do it to it, we still do they bullshit like power steering fluid. Wait a minute, Lions Den. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Lions Den. Wait a minute. It's the info man and the Lions Den. 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 Raise your ass about your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lion or info team. Raise your ass about your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lion or info team. Raise your ass about your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lion or info team. Raise your ass about your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lion or info team. It's the info man and the lion den. It's the info man and the lion den. It's the info man and the lion den. It's the info man and the lion den.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Information Man. I got my man Lions Den with me. Say a few words, Lions Den. There's a few people in the chat room. We'll see how the night goes. I'm sure some folks will be coming in little by little. How are you doing, brother?
Everything is everything, brother. How are you doing?
Doing very well this evening. We've got my main man. Everyone knows him. GabTalkMedia that's on with us. We're going to talk. We're going to interview this brother. We're going to see if we can find out the essence of this brother, what makes this brother who he is. He's a family man. He's a man of principle. I said on there, a man of truth. I've had a chance to observe him from afar. The brother is highly intelligent. He thinks outside of the box. He is about his people. The brother does not say a non-kind word. He tries to find the common ground, even when there's differences. We've got, we have differences within the Black community. We have differences in philosophy. We have differences in the way we look at the world. But what I know about my brother GabTalkMedia is that he tries to find the common ground, what brings us together, instead of what separates us. And that's very, very, very important. So with that said, let me, as you can see, we got the beautiful Gab Talk Media thumbnail I presented tonight that will be a part of this video. Lions Den, if you could do the honors of introducing some of the folks that we have in the chat room that I'm very glad to see in the chat room as people come in little by little. Give them some love, brother. And while you're at it, brother, let me give everybody a clap tonight. Introduce the good folks, Lions Den, if you could, brother.
Okay, we got Isaiah in the chat room. We got Hidden Treasure Entertainer and more. We also got Hold Up Sism. We got Nicole Ali. We got Karen Armstrong, and that's all right now, info.
Okay, everybody that's in the chat room, thank you for being here. Let me click out of this real quick because we're sharing the screen, but I'm gonna click out of that, stop that share, and here we are, folks. Here I am, Information Man. We got Gab Talk Media on, and with that said, let me give the brother. I gave the brother some kudos. We've got brother Gab Talk Media on with us, brother. Say something to the people out there. How you doing this evening?
Hey, peace, family. Peace. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm definitely honored to be on your platform, man. Been a long time coming. Since I've been on YouTube, you know, I've always saw you as a leader in the game. Like I say, I'm just super happy to be here. Shout out to Lions Den. Always appreciate your support, brother. I tune into your channel as well. Like the information that you put out there. I consider y'all family, like straight up, y'all family to me, bro. So this, you know, it's not even. That's just what it is. Yeah.
Me and Lions Den, brother, we do a little thing where we do a little radio broadcast, and then I try to put the broadcast into a visual effect for people. We did something. Let's see, Lions Den. What did we work on recently? Was it the Black Preachers?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that about a week ago. No, 2 weeks ago. I mean, not 2 weeks ago, but 2 days ago.
I'm going to put that out over the weekend. But brother Gab, I'm going to have to, brother, because you're so dynamic, I'm going to have to try to incorporate you in some of these broadcasts that we do. But I'm going to have to get your opinion. I'm going to have to add you in sort of like a commentary, brother. Sort of like, let's see what Gab, me and Lions Den are wrestling with some things, and let's get Gab's opinion on this. Let's soundbite Gab on this. So, brother, look, you're on the lookout for that. I'm gonna some of this kind of stuff. But brother, it's been a long time. I've been wanting to interview you, brother. I've been wanting to find out what makes brother Gab Talk Media who he is. Now, I know you are a family man, but brother, at the end of the day, tell everybody, who is Gab Talk Media? Who are you as a man, as a family man, as a man that is spiritual? Who are you, brother?
Let me start out. Well, spiritual person. I put God first. And I've learned to put God first. I'm learning to put God first in the things that I do. And when I say God to the community, I don't want you to think in terms of Allah or better yet, think in terms of whatever you consider that great force and power to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think humility is something that I've learned to allow to lead me, and I think is actually might be who I am, who I'm discovering myself to be. I think life has taught me to be humble. And so to step back a little bit, I'm from the DMV, born and raised DMV, mostly Washington, D.C., all the way through school, just about. My I'm almost 50. If that's important, I can't hide it. People, you know, I'm about to be next month. I'll be 50, man. So that's a little strange happening for me too, but it's all good. Health seems to be decent. I don't have any problems that I know about. You know, married. Been married 24 years.
Whoa, 20,
yeah.
24 years, you say, brother?
Yes, sir. 24
That's
years.
awesome.
It is
20,
awesome.
Yeah, 22-year-old son, 14-year-old daughter. You know, hopefully happy wife. And it's been a journey. My spiritual journey is grew up in church, like a lot of people. Up until the age of 12 is when my mom allowed me to, you know, she stopped forcing me out, and she actually started looking at other things herself at some point. And so my house became open thought. After she left church, it became open thought. And I hope she don't mind me putting out my stepfather was Muslim. I didn't know it. You know, they didn't raise me under that. They kind of allowed me to find my way a little bit. But Christianity was my foundation, and it made me a God-fearing person, except, you know, the script and the way that we understood it at that time was a little tainted, but it served its purpose for me at that time. And later on, when I got into some trouble as a teenager, got, you know, some hardship I put on myself, I found I was learning of Islam. There was some brothers out, you know, it's always a few Muslims on the block, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So they always said interesting things, and it resonated, and it always kind of made sense. I'm like that, you know, even when other people would argue, I'm like, nah, y'all can argue what you want. That shit makes sense to me, you know? So when I got into some trouble, I started looking for some other stuff. And so right around that time, Malcolm X movie came out. And that pushed me over the top. I'm like, all right, I got to go find how to get with that group right there. You know, yeah, that was it. Spike Lee did it. You know, Denzel did it. So at the time, you know, of course, it was the brother, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he was coming to DC soon, and one of the brothers pointed me to it, say, go check him out. And that's all she wrote for me. You know, I literally became a registered member, and I put in work for about a couple years before I felt maybe a little too confined. Yeah, might have felt a little too confined, and maybe the pressure of the work might have been too great for me. So I sought reasons to quit. You know, not that anybody did anything. It's just I sought reasons to quit, and so there was this other little sect of Islam that was doing something, and I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe this is easy. I was seeking ease. You know, I was looking for an easier way to serve. And so I fell back, like right at the Million Man March. I fell back, and I fell back for maybe 6 months, and then came right back. I tried to go stay close to the mosque. But I just felt confined, and I didn't like the feeling of it. And that's probably something I gotta work out still up to this day, because unity is definitely necessary, and I see that example exemplifies unity to a pretty good degree. And so that's where I stand spiritually. However, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in my understanding of him, it has taught me to be pretty free in my thought and to be able to communicate with people of different schools of thought, and to try and give it my all to understand their points of view, even down to the Scientology that everybody ridiculed Minister Farrakhan about introducing as a study for the members of the Nation of Islam. I found great benefit in that study too. So some of my attitude is adjusted or influenced even by some of that. So yeah, there you go. I think I covered a pretty good foundation about what makes me who I am. My parents, my mom, my father was a practical person. My real father, or
Yes.
you know what I mean. Practical man, worked, paid the bills. Somewhat street dude. My mom, one of the most faithful people I know. If she was fronting, she did a good job fronting. She did it all the way. She's still here, and still one of my best friends. Her and my stepfather, and I think that's the foundation. At least one layer or two.
Okay. But how, from the values that you gathered from your family, values that you experienced being a part of the Nation of Islam, how did you sort of evolve when you said you had to walk away at some point in time? Brother Gab, how did you evolve and find your own peace? Because sometimes when people walk away from something, there comes a time when you feel like you need a belonging to something. You feel something may not be right. And we start to go through processes as men, as we get older, as we develop, where we're trying to reinvent ourselves as men. Yeah. You know, I went through those phases myself, brother. And so where was it for you?
If I understand your question correctly, I actually think I'm still reinventing myself, like as I go. Yeah, I'm not done reinventing myself. I think when I fell back, my interactions with people, like when you join a faith such as Islam, there's a strong, the teaching is very strong. The way that the doctrine is injected into your system,
yes,
and into your memory, there's a way of, like, you know, I read the books a couple times over, all of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's books a couple times over. They're what we have called lessons. I used to read them like every day, and I didn't drop prayer. It was like a lot of that. So for a long time, I was like still firmly rooted, even though I wasn't always going to the mosque. I would like do visits and keep in contact with some brothers that you know, kind of introduced me. And though I'm still in contact with those brothers, and I got a friend or two that I brought in so I could stay in contact with them. And eventually so I held firm to the teachings. I just didn't have the discipline to practice as closely as a lot of the Muslim brothers you see do. I just I held a certain kind of discipline, but I couldn't hold it where I was all like holding a post and things of that nature, where I would be on call. You know, a lot of posts you might be in the nation, you know, you might be on call for certain things, depending on the nature of the business. And that's, you know, that's what nations do. So when I fell back, I think I can't quite remember how I started reading other things, to be honest with you. I know some years later, I started looking when YouTube got popular, social media got popular. There was this brother, Wesley Muhammad, who was, you know, making concrete through academic study the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so I started looking at him, and I saw that he was, you know, doing like somewhat like a tour through cities, you know, doing debates. And that's how I found out about Sonetta, you know, Sonetta TV and what they were doing. And so Harlem had this, like, I don't know if you ever been to Harlem?
Unfortunately for me, brother, I haven't had a chance to go to Harlem.
Yeah.
But I do plan to go.
Yeah. Harlem is like a mecca right there at 125th Street, right by the Apollo.
Yes.
There's a mecca of information. Like there's just like everything going on there. And they are like fine with it. Like here in DC or my area, the DMV, you're going to be only maybe two or three things without catching a problem from people. They just accepted you being a Muslim probably at the Million Man March during the time of the Million Man March.
Wow.
Yeah, you had like you were weird. You were a weirdo in this area if you wasn't like a Christian or just doing nothing.
Wow.
But Hebrew Israelites, the Israelites, and all of that stuff, DC was not filled with Nuwapians and things like that. So I knew nothing about all of this stuff. So those visits with these other brothers and seeing that they were so accepting of the different, they didn't agree. So they would cipher a lot in Harlem. And you listen to the debates, but I found out that they're okay with being different. And that was the first time I saw that display, and I kind of adopted. So I went there a couple times looking at debates. And so it made me not be as maybe fearful as I was of certain ideologies. And honestly speaking, even when I was young, I always liked people, no matter if they thought differently. I was that kid that tried to find that common thread. Sometimes to a fault. Even today, I think sometimes it feels like it may be to a fault, or I just won't get along well in certain circles. And I had to learn. I'm learning to be fine with it. You know, I just feel like everybody is going to play a role. Some are going to be much more pronounced and stronger than mine. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Now, brother, let me ask you this question. Maybe it's an obvious question I'm asking you, but the Million Man March, I had a chance to listen to the Honorable Minister Farrakhan live when I was living in Oakland as a prelude to the Million Man March. He came to Oakland and he fired folks up. It was a beautiful experience to watch him stoke the emotions and get us fired up for this Million Man March, and to actually go there and experience it was for the eyes of the beholder. Brother, what was your experience in the nation as it related to preparing for this most magnificent moment in history in 1995? Because there's some people who weren't even alive or just were little kids then. How did it impact you, and how does it carry with you going forward? Because when listening to the principles, and I'm going to, matter of fact, brother, this is what I'm going to do. For everybody listening, we need to play this as a reminder to people, because I feel like if we would just follow these types of principles, we would probably have a code necessary to deal with some of the problems that we face in America. So let me play this sound clip from one Honorable Louis Farrakhan. And here it is. Let me start it over again, and here it is.
I
Say your name. Pledge that from this day forward, I will strive to love my brother as I love myself. I say your name. From this day forward, will strive to improve myself spiritually, morally, mentally, socially, politically, and economically for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. I say your name. Pledge that I will strive to build business, build houses, build hospitals, build factories, and enter into international trade for the good of myself, my family, and my people. I say your name. Pledge that from this day forward, I will never raise my hand with a knife or a gun to beat, cut, or shoot any member of my family or any human being except in self-defense. I say your name. Pledge from this day forward, I will never abuse my wife by striking her, disrespecting her, for she is the mother of my children and the producer of my future. I say your name. Pledge that from this day forward, I will never engage in the abuse of children, little boys or little girls, for sexual gratification. But I will let them grow in peace to be strong men and women for the future of our people. I say your name. Will never again use the B word to describe any female, but particularly my own black sister. I say your name. Pledge from this day forward that I will not poison my body with drugs or that which is destructive to my health and my well-being. I say your name. Pledge from this day forward, I will support black newspapers, black radio, black television. I will support black artists who clean up their acts to show respect for themselves and respect for their people and respect for the ears of the human family. I say your name. We'll do all of this. So help me God.
Information is power.
So, brother, I had to play that just to kind of go down memory lane. And when you listen to the basic principles that brother, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan speaks upon, He talks about supporting Black businesses. He talks about how you treat the Black woman. He talks about how we need to support Black newspapers, how we have to get off drugs, how we have to hold each other accountable. I mean, all of it is relevant to what we need to be doing today. I think Brother Hollips would appreciate it from the BAIO when he talks about land, nationhood, and infrastructure. Farrakhan was talking about a little bit of that in there in terms of infrastructure, Black businesses in particular, in terms of having some sort of respect for yourself and your people, love for your people, for one another, not to shoot and kill one another. What does that mean to you, brother Gab Talk Media? What does it mean to you?
Those pledges.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What does it mean personally?
My understanding of the Honorable Minister is that of one who plants seeds in individuals with the hopes that they will grow in due season. And every attribute or every principle, if we could call those principles or the pledges, I think the vision is that we live up to those. Not that we should live up to those in 5, 10, 15 years, but that we live up to those in due season. Now, all of us would probably agree that due season was yesterday. You know what I mean? Now. Yes, now. Yeah, like after he said it, I think people were looking for, these things to begin happening, because that one day, and maybe some of the subsequent activity may have appeared to be like really significant. And I would agree that the days that we make declarations are significant. I just think that you have to be the person that is long suffering and patient when you're trying to heal a sick people. So as big as the Million Man March was, and I know personally that it affected many lives in terms of changing the direction of many, many brothers and sisters, mainly brothers, that some of the brothers took hold to some of those principles. Some may have become certain levels of mastery in some of those principles. Others, the seed did not take root. Many, maybe the seed did not take root. So the work of the Nation of Islam is to continue to lay a foundation according to those teachings, and to keep that nation in, I would consider it a somewhat vanguard position. So although it's not big and beautiful as many may expect it to be, because they have all sorts of ideas of how much money the nation intakes and things like that, I think there are some expectations there. And I get it, but that's going to come up along with anybody's program. Anybody that has any kind of nation building program, they will encounter those problems too. So they're going to encounter them from within and from without. And I'm going to try not to get away from your question, but what it means to me is that Minister Farrakhan, as a visionary, was putting out principles that I think all of us probably would agree that we should be trying to aspire to maintain. That's what it means to me.
You know, when I look at everything that's happening in society right now, I often wonder. There's two terms. There's a movement, and then there's a moment. I almost wonder if that the Million Man March. I often wonder to myself, did we miss the movement because we got caught up in the moment of what happened on that day? Now, that's just a thought, brother. Because
it's fair. That's fair.
A movement would mean that everything that happened that day would have translated to pushing us forward now, sort of a trickle down effect, so to speak.
Okay.
So the question, for me, I'm pondering: do we as Black men, as a people, did we got caught up in just a moment, and did we lack the energy and the will to really follow through on the pledges that Farrakhan, that's just a thought. That's just a thought. Lions Den, brother, be sure to chime on in, brother. If you have any questions you want to ask, brother, Gab Talk Media, go right ahead, brother. Be my guest.
Of course.
Can I answer the
yes
moment question?
Oh yes, brother.
It's real short answer. I think it depends on who you are. If you let go, then it was just a moment for you. If you're still working at those principles, then it's movement. Go ahead.
Interesting.
Okay. I noticed that you're a fellow DMV like myself, brother Gab.
Shout out, brother. Shout out.
DMV representing.
Yes, sir.
But what makes you decided to join the Nation of Islam?
It was the powerful first the introduction, like I was telling you, the friends that I had that were a part of the Nation of Islam was two people that I consulted that always had interesting answers to questions that it didn't seem like Christians of the neighborhood could answer. And it just made the arguments put forth just made a little bit more sense. And I had a sense or a feeling that they weren't trying to hide from hard questions. And so I just got more curious. And again, the Malcolm X movie came out, and that was the kind of change that I was looking for. So I tried to follow in the footsteps of Malcolm X, and in his absence, there was no more Malcolm X's to try and follow. So I found the next representative, and it was the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I was equally satisfied in what it is that he represents. So that's how I found residence there. And the teachings, I wrangled with the teachings for a while, just like I did with Christians, and I found satisfaction in the answers that I got, and then the lifestyle that the things that I changed about myself. I was happy.
So, who was your biggest idol? Who you like to follow the most? Instead of, you said Malcolm X and Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Who else is your biggest, idol that you want to be like?
I want to rephrase the way that you're saying that in terms of idol, because I don't know what people think that is. People that I admire is actually many in the circle. Dr. Khalid was another one as a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Many of the ministers in the Nation of Islam, many of the brothers in the Nation of Islam. Other leaders, though, I greatly admire the work of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Marcus Garvey is one that I was almost forced to listen to after listening to the people in Harlem. There's a lot of Garveyite sentiment, and I learned also about Garvey through the Nation of Islam because Malcolm's mom and Minister Farrakhan's mom were Garveyites, so I knew something of that movement. So I respect his work. Dr. Neely Fuller is somebody whom I greatly admire today. There are younger people that are doing great works. I admire what's going on right here and on some of the many of the guests that the brother had, although they may have not produced great works yet. I'm on the lookout, but one thing that I know, in order to build something big, you have to have that will last. You have to have that formula. You have to love it until it grows, and you can't quit. And not many organizations have that formula. They last for a while, or they do something that gets them kicked out of the game. And you have to have some wisdom in order to remain present and strong, you know. So those are some of the other people. I'm sure it's more stuff is slipping. I probably have to look at my bookshelf to get into some other people that I admire, but those are the main folks.
I think, brother, that we take a little bit from everybody that we admire. I mean, I know I certainly will take a little bit, Malcolm X. I take a little bit from someone like a Marcus Garvey. You know who I really have an affinity for is Brother Paul Robeson. I mean, he was a true essential, what you would call, what do you call that? True
thespian.
Yeah, he did everything. Art, music. I mean, he was a true Renaissance man. That's the term I'm looking for. He was a true Renaissance man. I look up to brothers and sisters like that. Shirley Chisholm, I look up to her. Ida Wells, she was a maverick of her time. So you take a little bit from people, you carry it with you in your spirit. And you know what happens, brother? Sometimes it's trickle downs into your family. Now you have a 14-year-old, you have kids. How have the life or the experiences that you've had with the Nation of Islam, just as a man in general, because they try to tell us that Black men in particular, that we don't take care of our kids, that we're not in the household, that we don't work, that we don't build families. And I'm here to tell you that we do build families, that we are in the household. You got people out there that would say that the Black community is scorched earth. You heard it, that there's no hope for us, right? I've had my moments when I ask myself those questions. Are Black people are we falling into a pit of no return? But when I see and hear from brothers like yourself, family men, strong, repeat to everybody, how long have you been married again, brother?
24 years.
Here's a brother who's been married for 24 years.
No breaks.
No breaks. They say that Black men don't marry black women. They say that Black men don't stay in marriage, that we're not built to last for it, right? That we're not family men, that we just have kids all around town. Here's a brother who's committed 24 years of marriage. Okay, nobody says that marriage is easy. You're gonna have your ups and downs. I was married before. You're gonna have your ups and downs. That's life. That's how it works sometimes. But at the end of the day, this brother is committed to his family, and the experiences that he has had has to have some impact on the family. And brother, how has your family benefited from what you've gone through, what you have learned? How have you translated that to your kids?
Yeah, great question. Bro, it ain't did a damn bit of good. No, I'm just playing. Nah, I think it benefits them the way, honestly, the way that it has benefited me. The way I see it is what I see in my children and in my wife. And this took some time. There were some battles here, brother, about what I believed and whatnot. Up until, I want to say, more recent years is where this is why I understand vision and the planting of seeds, that if you can stick with a thing until it matures, if you can love that thing until it matures, and you don't know how long it's going to take, but you love it and you stay with it, those seeds germinate in the people. And if you can wait it out and stick it out, you wind up with some pretty good fruit. And so my children, they are open-minded. Like you probably, if they got on the mic, you're going to see something similar. As whatever it is you see in me, you will find in my reflections. Like seriously, the same for my wife. She's her own person for sure. I like to say she's a lot stronger than me in many respects. She's helped me to find some balance. I needed those fights and need those fights to find some balance. My son is old enough now to give me some of his fights. And you know, now that he's older, I'm starting to really see myself, like really in a more real way, flaws and all. And as he's made me to reflect on myself, you know, I'm starting to see myself in reality, and that too is making me more humble, because I love myself and I love him. And so I got to stick with it until I find the answers. And what I found out, you may have seen me talk about in other videos, is that the things that I didn't repair in myself, he's stuck with it until I figure out how to fix it. If I don't fix it, I've already let him know that, hey, dude, I ain't fixed that yet. So you're gonna have to work on that. If I don't find the key, just understand that you need one, because I'm old enough to understand that that's a problem. And so that's my relationship with my son as a result of these teachings. With my wife, the thing that kept me married are those principles, kind of holding true, because for me, it's a movement. It wasn't a moment. It wasn't a moment. Lots of things is not in front of my face. Like I hear the arguments about, hey, what about, you know, what happened? Like, you know, what happened to all of this and all of this preaching? And things are happening right in front of your face sometimes. Like it's a lot of Black businesses right now. But the unity and the support for those things, maybe people don't know how to make their word their bond. That goes for me. I'm sure it goes for many people who are on here preaching righteousness. We're not always on our guard to do what it is we need to do. We get frustrated with each other, put each other off to the side for a while, and start spending money with enemies, you know, all the time. So if I answered your question, I hate when I veer off too much, but for my family, the benefits are enormous in terms of what it has helped me to be patient and not run off because before my wife in Islam, I had a life of running away from problems when it came to women. I wasn't gonna stick around for it, you know. So I learned that just wasn't the best way to handle it. And you know, I've been blessed to stay married, and not that it's been all sweet. And I caution people, it's not all sweet. You gotta be down for the movement and not the moment.
Movement, that's the key. Being down for the movement, not the moment, in anything that you do in life. Look, let me just say this to you, brother. When I look at manhood and when I look at fatherhood, you're a father. I'm a father as well, so I can relate to a lot of what you're saying. I was married damn near 15 years. I've been divorced going on 10, and it seems like as I've gotten older and going into my late 40s now, I'm about 48, I'm a different version of myself than what I was at 20. Now, this is the principle. You should not be thinking the way you did at 20 years old, when you were a teenager at 20. At 30, you should be thinking different than what you were at 20. At 40, you should be thinking different than what you were at 30, and so on and so forth. We should be evolving and evolving. And I just noticed, brother, that there's some things that are just not as important to me anymore. Now, a lot of people get caught up in how many women they can have. Some brothers out here, they feel settling down in marriage is sort of like a lock and key. But this is the thing. You've got to be willing to put in the work as a man to take the time to really get to know the woman that you're going to bring into your life that you could potentially have a family with. And for you to be married for 24 years, brother, and like you said, it's not easy because I've been there. It tells me that for you to be making it this far, that you did a hell of a job in doing something that a lot of men don't do, and that is really taking the time to pick a mate, pick a woman in your life who compliments you to some degree. A lot of times as men, we go by visual stuff, how the woman looks, how something looks. We do it in all our life. If something looks good, feels good, oh, it's the real deal, right? Instead of sitting back and taking our time and processing and observing the person that we're bringing into our life, because you're going to possibly bring kids into the world. And would you agree with me, Brother Gab Talk Media, that the first gods, this is a two-part question, the first gods or God that a child knows is his parents. The first teacher to a child is the mother. So if you have a finger-popping woman, all she does is wants to party, look at soap operas, she doesn't read, she isn't learned, your child is going to get that sort of digestion from the type of woman that you took time to, that you married. So if you don't, as blessed men, if we need to take the time with women that we see as potential long-term mates, we need to take the time and follow the principles of success and watch. This is what I'm into. Don't worry. Don't get caught up in what a person says, what a man or a woman says. Study them by their actions. Now, in my dating experience right now, I no longer listen to what women say. I go by what they do. I no longer listen to what a brother tells me. I go by what he does. Is his word bond? Is he going to be consistent in what he says to what he does? And that tells you everything you need to know. And once that person doesn't fit that ideology for me, then I must remove myself or that person out of my life. So what I notice about you, Brother Gab, is that a lot of us have our style on YouTube. Some of us are very boisterous. Some of us may use foul language. Some of us are very strong and opinionated, right? But what I notice about you, brother, is that you're very even-minded. You take the time to be a logical thinker and not a responder. See, there's a responder. When I'm at work, for example, and I'm dealing with guys that are incarcerated, and they do stuff to get themselves in trouble, cause them more anguish in the system. I always ask them, are you a responder or are you a reactor? Because a reactor is a person who just acts on emotion. They just jump up and all of a sudden, I'm gonna do something to you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get revenge on you. I didn't like that, right? Whereas a responder is a person who sits back, they analyze the situation, they say, what are the consequences if I do a violent act? When I know that I have an opportunity to go home and leave this incarcerated situation. So same principle hold for us as men. We've got to find a ground. And for Black people, we need to find the common ground of finding our control of our emotions and making logical thinking the bigger part of our parameter. So with you, brother, I admire your evenness, your ability to look at both sides of everything, to think critical. What do you think about that, what I said? As no,
that's really good. I put God first. I go back to that. I put God first, and I love my people. And one of the things that I think I hated the most about being in any circle is I remember feelings that was put on me that made me question my self-esteem as a brother. And it made me like become somebody else in order to survive in a circle. So, you know, you do what the streets do, and you impose that shit on other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
In order, so because you've been made to feel uncomfortable. So it's kind of the sickness that goes on with a lot of our environments. It happens a lot within the conscious community, like some conscious bullying. And so I detest that shit, man. So because I remember the thoughts when I was coming up, and it kind of changed me, and it kind of, I wasn't strong enough to withstand what was going on in the environment. So you kind of get with the program. And so, because the first law is, all right, dude, you gotta survive first. All that individual, I wasn't strong enough to be the individual because I had not yet found myself in order to become strong in myself yet. So I played the game with the neighborhood, but I became lost to me, to who I am. And I got old enough to realize I don't like the shit. And it took me 40 years to earn that shit out. Excuse me, my French, you know, I cuss and stuff, but I don't like to use that all the time. But, you know, that's how I feel about it. That was some shit. And it is some shit. So I've learned to step aside and let brothers find their way. So if you feel like you built for a particular thing, maybe you are. And I'm not built for that. But God, to me, is the sum total of the parts. So if you do what it is that your divine essence is calling you to do, and I do what it's calling me to do, and you say and you recognize, and some others recognize that I do it well, fuck out my way.
Yes.
Right.
It's the same thing that I'm going to do, respect for what it is that you contribute. If you got a good right hand and we need it, swing at the proper time. You know what I'm saying? The proper time, swing. But allow me to come in and supply the balance. Say, brother, not right here. That's the wrong one. Get him. So when the unity of the parts come together, like we all gathering, we becoming gods of our own. We finding our superpower right now. Somebody Spider-Man, somebody Wolverine. We figuring it out right now. And we don't know that that's what's going on because it seems small. We can only see our square footage that we operate in. You don't know what's going on over here in the DMV. I don't know what's going on. You still in Oakland?
I'm closer to the SAC area, but
yeah. So you in Cali, but I don't know what's going on necessarily for you and what it is that you have to find yourself. Okay, go ahead.
I can tell you right now, I'm trying to make sure I can breathe. We got all these damn fires out here, man.
Yeah, bro, that's tough, man. Is that stuff close to you too?
You know where I work at, I can smell it because where I work at is close to the Napa area, and we're getting a lot of stuff that's coming from that area. A lot of the it's look, the air quality is man. I can only laugh to keep from crying, brother.
Yeah,
only laugh to keep from crying.
That's yeah. So prayers out to y'all, man.
Let me tell you something. What I do, brother, let me tell you something. I try to take time to myself. I think every man should do this. Take time to yourself just to shut all the noise down. Your cell phones, everything. Take time to yourself to just be in a quiet space, think, focus, clear your thoughts, clear your spirit of any junk from the day. And just ask yourself, I always ask myself, am I really living to the value of what God put me on this earth for? Am I living to my full potential? Am I living to my full value? Am I getting the full value out of life that I want? And when I talk about that, I'm not talking about no cars. I'm not talking about houses. I'm not talking about materialistic objects. I'm just in general, am I getting the fullestness out of my life? How often do we sit around and take for granted our life, brother, when we're not guaranteed when we go to bed tonight to wake up the next day? So why do we wake up every day worrying about, I know people worry about bills, you worry about this and that. You got to deal with it because you may wake up. But at the end of the day, did God truly put us on this earth on a spiritual level just so that we can worry about bills, which, by the way, are man-made constructs? The whole concept of currency, money, paper, that's not a God concept. That's a man-made concept.
Okay.
Like we were put on this earth for the earth to be for us. Right. Now, I'm not trying to get preachy or nothing, but I just sometimes wonder, what is it that I can do better? When I go out and I look at the sun, could that be the last time I'm going to look at the sun? Could this be the last time I'm going to walk on a beach and look at the ocean? Is this going to be the last time that I'm going to smell a plant? Will this be the last date in my life that I go on? So what I do at 48 years old, I say, take it all in, enjoy it, suck it up. Okay. That's where I'm at, brother. What do you think about those principles?
I think if I get it right, your question was kind of leaning towards, are we just here to be paying bills? Is that a part of the question?
Are we just here to have worry after worry after worry after worry, try to pay bills, what is it? And after you give your opinion on this question, Lions, then I want you to give a little love to folks in the chat room, call out some names, people that are there, and then ask any questions that you have too, brother.
Okay, I got you.
Go right ahead, brother Gab, Talk Media.
Yes, sir. The answer, I'm gonna say, yes. You're here to worry about that stuff. And I'm saying it in a way that nearly full of says it. If you're born today at a time when the world is full of problems, you're here to solve them. Yes. So that means, yes, you're born to deal with these problems. We're here to deal with these problems. So now it's all about information and time. And so we're getting the information. I mean, you're the information man. So we're getting the information. The information, I believe the information is here. And the spread of it is astronomical right now through this tool that we're on. And there are many others like it throughout the world with different names, underground and all that kind of shit. There's so much life going on in this thing that we call web, you know, the internet. And this is just one part of it, maybe the largest part of it that we know about. So the information is here. So solving the problems is going to become, I believe, it's just right now, brother, it's just a matter of time. The truth is here, and you cannot keep people enslaved forever. The issue that many people, I think, have, one that I used to have, is that I thought that I would live to see the day where the big change happens, not understanding that I'm here to play a part. So one of the things that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in one of the interviews that I saw on it's on YouTube now, he said that he told the interviewer that the interviewer asked about some big change, you know, about the destruction of this world and how it will fall, because he wrote the book Fall of America. And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, it's not that I'm going to do it, or that I'm going to even be here to necessarily see that happen. He said, but I'm doing my part now. So he had some kind of understanding or vision or faith or belief, whichever one you want to call it. I think vision is much more positive, or gives you much more energy to have vision and not just faith and belief, because some people put faith and belief into a place where you're not going to get anything done. But vision is, I think, a much more a word that's maybe stronger. So in short, yes, we're here to deal with the issues. The facts are that you're here and you got to deal with them, and you don't have the power at this time to overcome them. But you do, as you get more information, have the energy and power to overcome part of your problems. You've been doing it. You living in your place. At first you didn't have a place. You got another car. First you didn't have a car. So you're working your ideas out. So now it's a matter of getting more information and more unity with other people with information to make who we are magnified to the extent that the world understands that we're powerful. Right now, we're not that. We're not. The world can't see. The world is actually pretty afraid of what it even might look like. So I hope.
Let me just add this caveat too. Everything that's going on in the world today, folks, is a distraction. I was talking to my man, and I love him, brother. If you're out there listening, Brother Logic and Brother Straight Drop. Brother Logic goes by the other name of Food, Clothing, and Shelter. And I was on his show one night, and he was saying that a lot of what we're seeing in America, with Donald Trump in particular, is a distraction. While we're worried about everything that he's doing, whether it's tweaking, talking, all this outrageous stuff that he does, how many of us are actually thinking about, wait a minute, what's really behind the scenes behind him? He's the puppet, but who's really the master pulling his strings? Yeah. So he brought that up, and I said to myself, that makes a lot of sense, because these are distractions. And I think a lot of times we have to watch distractions in our life. Very, very important that we not allow ourselves to be bamboozled. I even had a brother when I was in the barber shop one day. My barber said to me, what if everything that we think about the life that we're living is some weird experiment? What if everything that you think you know about life, about the world, everything that we're in, what if everything that we think that we know is not true? Because all that we know from the time that we were born, all that we know was given to us and taught to us by another man, woman, another human. Outside of that, where did we get our knowledge from? Now, some would say, well, God spoke to me, I'm spiritual. But at the end of the day, we read books. Who made books? Human.
Good. This is good. Yeah.
We're watching TV. Who made the TV? Humans. At the end of the day, everything that we know, even when we quote stuff, where did we get the quote from? Even if we're talking about our family, it was our grandmother, our grandfather. Well, where did they get this quote from? Another human. So everything is about everything that we think we know. What if everything we think we know was some weird experiment? It's just a thought to get people thinking. Lions Den, we got some new people or a few people in the chat room that we're familiar with. Give them a little love, brother. If you got any questions, brother, go right ahead for Brother Gab Talk Media, because I sure will bring up some more questions that I have for the brother, some more topics.
I wrote it down.
Brother, how much time do you have? I know it's late.
I'm good, bro.
Because we are, I'm just letting you know right now, we are going to do this again, brother, because you got so much wisdom. Lions Den, give him a little love in the chat room.
Yeah, I would like to get a shout out to the chat room. Bismillah, Ramani, Bonafide 1970, Tolling Ninier, Cookie Primrose, Ronald Finkley. Let's see, I'm going straight down. Okay, Javen Bullets, the knowledgeable. Miss Red.
Jalen Bullets, the knowledgeable. I got your email, brother. I'm going to set up a time for us to do an interview as well, get you on the platform so we can just explore what you're about too, brother. Go right ahead, Lions Den. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to announce that, brother. I see Cap coming in. Cap, PY2. Brother Cap.
Brother Cap. Afrocentric at Autonomy TV. She's in the building. Woke Progressives in the building. Let's see, exposing the fake pro-blacks in the building. Uber guys in the building. Cap, like you said, he's in the house. So that's all I can bring up info.
And you know, Cap does on his channel. I remember I was on one of those panels. I think O'Shea's panel. I've been on the panels on O'Shea's channel, debating and putting up my dukes against the other side of the coin. And Uber guy is in here, and just we're talking, and let me just say that and I want to give a shout out to George Macomb, Brother Moses. Let's see. Let me give a shout out to Brother Angry Man. I had a chance to dialogue with him. Let me give a shout out to for my mind slips me right now. But let me just give everybody who's been supporting me, supporting us, and everybody that I've had a chance to collaborate with. I just want to give a little piece. Brother Nagoon, my friend Brother Nagoon, thank you if you're out there. Brother Kevin Samuels, if you're listening, we're gonna do that collab. Lions Den, when we do the show with Brother Kevin Samuels, you got to put your best clothes on. This brother is a style consultant. He talks about wearing the right kind of clothes, shoes, in terms of getting your style and your image together. He also talks about issues around when it comes to meeting women and and your perception, your confidence, and dating, and all this kind of stuff. And the brother, you know, he talks about getting your cologne game on, your shoe game. Look at this shoe. I'm trying to look at this shoe. This is a nice shoe. I think brother Samuels would love that. So we're gonna do a show with him, and so we gotta get our best church clothes on, Lions Den, for that program. But
I feel you.
But anyway, I digress here. This is about Brother Gab Talk Media. Woo! So
yeah,
go right ahead, brother. Did you have questions for him?
Yes, indeed. Brother Gab Talk Media. You know, you was talking about, being a fan, and for brothers who just basically, for example, just got married. And what advice you can give the brothers who just started having a life with someone, because you've been married for what you said, 40 years, you said?
No, 24.
24 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's 24 years. Okay, what advice you can bring the brothers who basically just got married and just start a life with that someone?
Providing that you did what you did your best to select somebody that actually complements your nature. Providing that you did that preliminary work, I would say be patient, bro. Be patient. There are going to be some things that you guys discover about each other that you didn't know was there, just by virtue of being around each other that often and that deep. The relationships are spiritual, as Sister Jada Pinkett put a powerful clip out the other day, for a 1-minute clip on Instagram, talking about that it's a spiritual journey for self-mastery for both people. And what you're doing is watching somebody either partaking in trying to master themselves to live up to core principles that you both have agreed on, or they're not, or they're struggling with it. So the bond of the love that you have for the person will probably infuse a certain kind of patience in you to stick it out. The things that you guys live and invest in, the part of the contract that helps you get over it. This is why I think the contract of marriage is important, not just so the sister or the brother can give you hell, but that second thought that you have because you guys have signed an agreement to try to work this thing out, and you said till death do you part. Right. Those struggles that you have to face because you're about to break that agreement sometimes make you pause and you hold up, and relief is like probably right around the corner. A lot of times you just just get quiet for 24 hours and you'll realize you still love her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You'll realize she'll realize, oh, okay, that was silly. I said a little too much. But it's the ability to get quiet. So self-mastery, brother, and patience, and concentrating on yourself as much as possible to master the self to the degree possible, and humility. Those are the tips. There's just a lot of things that are going to come out in people that you didn't know about. Think about all the lies you still telling. It's a lot there, and you telling them a lot of times in your minds for a good damn reason. And so, but think about how they may adversely affect you one day once they're discovered. You're gonna have to be prepared to deal with that if that day ever comes. So when you discover lies in her, just think about the lies that haven't been uncovered on your side and then chill. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. If you can't. Sometimes sometimes we just ain't cut out yet. And if it fails, it's not the end of the world. it's just simply not the end of the world. And I do want to get back to Info's question after you too, brother. I just don't want y'all to forget. Cut the show off.
Okay.
I wrote it down.
Wait a minute. You guys, man, y'all have me cracking up over here, brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Go right ahead, brother. If you
Lions Den.
go ahead, brother. Were you asking him more questions, or were you? Did he answer your question already, brother?
Yeah, and another question I would like to ask is, because I know we're all fellow YouTubers here. The question is, what I mean, how can we be more successful? Putting putting everything out, because like we said, we're all pretty different in different ways. Brother Gab Talk Media, you do your thing. Info doing his thing. I do mine. What I mean, give me your advice on how to be a successful, YouTuber. Just continue getting the word out to our viewers and our subscribers.
Respectfully, I don't have the degrees that you brothers have. So, for me, I'll just explain what it is that I'm trying to be as open as possible, to share myself. That's the thing that I think is unique. I think what I like in you guys is the ability to be who I think is yourself, your unique self. I think yourself is what, when you're being authentic, I think that is the thing that attracts people. And so for me, I'm trying to learn to be that. I done tried so many different ways to be humble and I got boring, and then I tried to get a little more exciting, and that wore me out because that's not me. So I can't sustain it for you because it's not me. So finding the authentic self is what I'm trying to that's what I'm trying to do. And I like, and it, I'm okay with y'all saying me kind of, there's days you might see a broadcast where I'm just being raw. It's kind of a little bit different than this. And it's okay. Like, I think people understand that, yeah, he don't feel like being diplomatic today, So there's times where you might see a difference. I don't want to get too off the hook, I want to maintain civility and whatnot on these channels. But that's kind of what I do. But other than that, I really don't have any degrees or have any business telling you and brother Information Man on how to grow a channel.
Well, let me just say this. You already hit on it. You got to be your authentic self. You got to find what speaks to you. What's your niche? What is your niche? What is your style? So when you can identify what your style is, what your niche, your target audience, what kind of message you're trying to convey, what kind of style, you just have to keep grinding it out, and you just have to be clever in the way. It's about promotions too, brother. You've got to be able to promote yourself. You got to be able to grind a little bit on this social media, putting yourself out there, and then the consistency. If people know, for example, if someone's listening to, let me ask you a question, brother. If someone's listening to you, if I'm listening to you, brother, Lions and everybody listening in the chat room, what can we expect from Gab Talk Media? Let's let everybody know that right now. What can one expect when they go to Gab Talk Media's channel? What are they expecting? What is the one thing that's going to be constant with you? Even when you try to change up and experiment a little bit, what's the one constant with you, brother? That's what I would like to say to you. Yes.
Probably humility. Humility. I think that's the one word that's what you're going to find. Even in my acting silly, sometimes I'm gonna still be listening for another person's point of view or whatnot. I think that's what you're gonna find every time with me. You're never gonna find me being too over the top with my own opinion on things. There's always room for your thoughts on my channel. As long as what is not what, and you may not have seen that because most people don't approach me disrespectfully, because I think it's because I don't present that in any way. But I know there's some nuts out here that will try it, and so that's the only thing that's not accepted by me is something that I don't put out is disrespectful energy. And so that's it. We can disagree all day long, but I don't do the disrespect with people.
Okay. Let me ask you, brother. You've seen what's been going on in the country right now. You got all this corrupt stuff going on in this government. I was looking at some videos as it relates to young Black children who have maybe their hair in dreadlocks and how they're being harassed. They're being told they can't come to school. There was one father that couldn't believe it. His first day of school that he brought his son to school, they told him to sign some waiver so that his son could be taken out of the school, and it was all about his hair. And it seems like we keep saying that Black people are under attack. But the one area that I don't think we're spending enough time on is how our children are under attack, man. They're under attack, and they don't have the ability to wear all like we do. To just, our kids are under attack. We're under attack, but they're messing with our kids based on a hairstyle. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is ludicrous, dude. Like I don't have no respect for that type of activity going on with us because of our culture, but it fits into the scheme of all that's happening. So I'm not surprised in any way, and it only feeds my thought that, or the thought, not mine, the thought that we should have our own things. Nationhood is the answer to this. It's not an easy answer, but I believe some kind of separation, that process has to begin, and spiritually now I keep saying it has to begin. The process of separation is happening now, and we're just waiting on the physical reality. There are steps even being done physically for separation. People are preparing themselves in the Black nation to be able to survive this thing. Separately, people are in government, or people have knowledge of government on ways to make separation happen. So these things, again, in my opinion, are happening, and in my observation, it's happening. It's just that we don't know what the divine, the large plan looks like, and I don't think we're supposed to know what it is. I think we're supposed to be doing and manifesting our personal divine essence until the parts are brought together. So there's no need in you or I worrying about what the other parts are doing. It's all about you fulfilling your role. The answer to the big question is beyond you and I, and can be challenged in any limit of time. The fact of the matter is you and me are limited in our power to overcome that big question. So that's proof that it's out of our hands. And anybody else that we've talked to, any chat, any philosopher, this would include everybody. No matter how big it seems they are, they don't have the answer to the question of what fixes our problem. So faith is incumbent. Some sort of belief is incumbent, or else you're gonna quit. You're just gonna start doing what you want to do. You know.
Wow. Lions Den, let's go into another part of this series now, and let's start fielding some questions from the chat room. There's folks in there that are writing stuff in the chat room. Maybe we can use some of the things that are in the chat room for this towards this discussion. Now, let me see.
Brother, before you, not before, but
yes,
remember I wrote your question down about if it's all up.
Oh no, let's go right ahead. Let's get into that question. That's
okay. Yeah, you were talking about if it's all an illusion, like the things of this world and whatnot are all an illusion. Like everything we've been taught. What if what we think is true is not the truth? And I have learned to some degree, or this is a thought process of mine, is that and this is things I've read over the truth is an agreement. So what I mean by that is that what makes a thing blue or green is that somebody said it was, and we all agreed. So if we speak something into existence and we all agree, okay, in this room, that this is not a cup, but it's a glass in this room, and that's what we'll refer to it as.
Okay.
That's the truth. That kind of thing can magnify. It just depends on what your resources are to define this. And so our knowledge of the fact that it is an illusion, I can change this with a word if I can get you to agree. And so what you see in media, they can just say things and repeat things on a lot of different resources. They have the resources to repeat it enough to actually make it truth, except for there's something else that will challenge that in the people. And I would call that the God in the people will challenge that in order to wrangle with what actually is true. But other than that, we can create our own realities. The white man did it himself. He created an entire world outside of our world. So look at it, and a lot of it is like is pretty damn good. So like you can experience some serious, like there's a lot of shit you like in your life inside of his twisted reality. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you, you saw me on some panels. What are your thoughts as it relates to the issues around whether Black people are a done deal? Is it time to say, let's stick a fork in it? We can't rebuild. Maybe we need to like start over. I believe we need to start with our children. Now, you just told me, that's why I asked you this question. You just said that the way you have come to your wisdom step by step as you get older, that your kids, it has rubbed off on your children. And that is where I believe people need to stop sleeping on the issue of we need to build through our children. And this is the reason why I think people have a hard time with this. Because we as Black men and Black women, we have these egos. And when we have these egos drive us to say, I want to see the success. So for example, if you say you're going to build a school and you decide you want to go real big with the school, right? When in fact, you should probably just go ahead and make a small school. A lot of times we want to see the glory. So we want to have a big old school with all the fancy works so that we can beat on our chest and say, look at what I built, right? Yeah. Well, look at our ancestors. You have Black people who built the schools, like you got Morehouse, you got Howard. The fact of the matter is, when they probably started these universities, they probably started out as a one-room school. And the people who founded it, they're not alive today to see the fruits of their labor be what it is today. So I think as Black men, we have to stop trying to hold on to like, I'm going to live forever. We need to realize that everything that we do may not be for us to see. It may be for the next generations to see the fruits that you create, because you know this principle, brother. You judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. Is it rotten fruit? Is it positive, good fruit? And my thing is, we need to start building for the future, and we need to come to an understanding that in some cases we may not be physically a part of that future, but in spirit we may be. When they build that school, they put your name on that plaque in spirit. And I argue that we got too many Black folks in our community who are worried about the glory for themselves, that we keep saying, where's the schools? Where is this? Where is that? Because we want to drive the Cadillac now. We don't want to drive the Pinto or drive the bicycle first. We want the Cadillac now. We want the Mercedes now, baby. And that type of mentality doesn't work, because when we have Black leaders, for example, who hold on to power for so long, we have to ask ourselves, who's the person taking over for them? Look at the case of Mugabe. He's not happy with the person that they put in power. But Mugabe's been in power for so long. Did he take the time to groom someone to take over for him? No. He's become an older man who's been holding on to power. We got to start relinquishing this power we think we got, brother. What are your thoughts on that? I said a hell of a lot. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think what you communicated with passing the vision down to our children, that was a visionary statement, and that is movement and not moment. Okay, so it came full circle in that statement for me. So yes, give that vision to our children. We're not going to have all of the shiny things that we like. You know, Black folks like the bling. We like bling. And I'm not mad at us for wanting the finer things in life, and whatever that has been defined as. I do believe we need to redefine what is value to our community. I think a lot of things that we see as value is false, and it needs to be redefined. But we're not in a position. Well, I don't want to say that. That's defeating. I'll say we need to continue to work on what and how we define things as value in our community. But yes, brother, the vision to move forward is going to be in what we plant for tomorrow. We continue to work and bring into fruition what we can today, recognizing our limited resources in terms of physical things right now. But what our power is right now, and I'm going to continue to say this to everybody listening, our power right now is the power of our mind and our soul. It's emanating, like we're spiritually rich right now, waiting on the manifestation to the planet, but we we're not there yet. I can't get this through to you enough. Certain aspects of the kingdom is not here yet, and some of that we might not see, but we have to plant the seeds. We have to prepare, because it's here now, because we're the thought part. What's going on right here, we're thought leaders. You know, so you might be looking for somebody on here that got the bling and got all of this stuff set up. But and I pray that brothers can make those things successful. But what I'm saying is, if you look at something like the Nation of Islam and other groups, there's evidence there that says it's not the time for the beauty of the nation. We have to get our principles down solid that will support the physical things, because we'll just tear the shit up if we bring about all these beautiful edifices and neighborhoods. You can put that stuff down, but will we maintain it? And so the kingdom is not going to accept that false shit. You're gonna have to get right from the inside out. So I'm challenging anybody that thinks they're going to build anything without getting your shit right. It's not going to last. And if you building it, you're getting the help from the devil. It's not going to be. The devil is successful at sustaining things and fooling you for a while in this period. So he'll help to do that if it's like LeBron James. And I'm not mad about the school. I was pretty excited that a brother spent his own money to help the underprivileged. That's, I applaud that. But there's a whole lot of associated questions about what that actually means for the black community.
Well,
for the black community.
Let me just say this here. From what I understand and what I've been able to gather is that the school that LeBron James opened up is not actually a private school or a charter school. He's actually gone into a partnership with the school district of Cleveland, which means, and they say that this is a smart thing to do because when you open up a private school or a charter school, you're going to be laden with all the responsibilities of what goes on at school. By partnering up with the school district in Cleveland, using their infrastructure, LeBron James sort of divorces himself to certain blame and attachments, right? He simply is going into a partnership with the school district, I guess, of Cleveland, Ohio, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
To a partnership.
Okay.
Means he's supplying them with, supplies, books, whatever.
Okay.
But it's not his school cold blunt. He's in a partnership with the school district.
Yeah.
It's good. He can make a difference. However, when you go into a partnership with a public school system, the question I have for everyone listening in the chat room and for Brother GabTalkMedia and Brother Lions Den, do you control the lesson plan, the curriculum, what they're teaching the kids?
Yeah.
Right. Do you control? Right. Does LeBron James have control over what they're being taught? Are they just going to get the same old handy-down stuff? Is he going to be able to get more history in there that teaches kids, black kids in particular, about who they are prior to slavery and civil rights? Does he have that kind of authority, right?
Right.
Or is he just writing checks to make sure that the classrooms have clean seats, make sure that the kids have the uniforms?
Right.
The kid, is he paying money for the books and supplies? But my question is he in control over what's in those books? Meaning, what are they learning? You notice that they don't tell us that. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Let me hit this bell right quick. Information is power with thunder. God damn it.
Right. Right.
These are the questions that we must ask, folks.
That was powerful. That was powerful.
Very powerful.
What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Did you say Lions Den or me?
I'm going to go to you, and Lions Den, you chime in and say what you got to say. Gab, give it to him.
Yeah. I think what you said was spot on. My question was pretty much the same as yours. And I think our people need to be aware that there are image consultants out there that partner with people with money to help to do things like this to help clean up their image, but our brothers and sisters are not necessarily in control, but they like the idea that they are putting their money towards something that will be useful for somebody. So that in and of itself is not a bad thing, but it might not be what your expectations are. So we just have to be aware that those are the kinds of things that happen, not to take it as something to go beat our brother over the head about, but just to recognize for yourself and so that you're informed about what it means for LeBron James to put $8 million into a project that he does not own. And this happens a lot with even the businesses that they're a part of. A lot of times they are not the active controllers or mind behind the business, but maybe the heavier investors in something.
Well, just like, for example, with Jay-Z, a lot of people thought that Jay-Z was an owner of the New Jersey or the Brooklyn
Nets, New Jersey
Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets, yeah.
And come to find out, he didn't own them. They just used them as a pitch man. Just like George Foreman with the grill. Now, you know George Foreman, let me let y'all know a little secret. George Foreman didn't come up with the grill. They simply used him as a pitch man. And he's a damn good pitch man. I mean, he might have had the idea, but you know what they do? These corporations put money behind personalities, and they'll get you to believe anything they want you to believe. So, yeah, I'm not putting LeBron James down in terms of what he's trying to do for his community. My thing is, anytime someone tells you what they're doing, you should always look and see where's the money coming from, who's involved, what does it really mean? That's all. Yeah. We should always be critical of that. We should always be aware of that and don't be bamboozled. Yeah,
who's controlling the project? Thank you.
Lions, you want to give a little love in the chat room again, brother, and ask any question you like? And how much time you got left, Brother Gab?
I'm good now, bro. I'm woke now.
Y'all funny. Let me get my my funny on right now. Where's my funny button? Where is it at?
I see you got the studio.
Lions, then give a little love in the chat room, brother. And if you have any question before I pepper the brother with some more questions.
We got Sin City, Nikki Justice, Cookie Prime Rose, Bismillah Rabbani. We also have Rosalind Abigowe. We got She's That Militant Black Buddha.
All right, well,
we got Bonafide 1970. We got Twist 13 Empress. We got Man of Tomorrow, Strange Magic. Let's see here. I'm gonna go straight up. Let's see. So far, S. Wiseman's in the building. My sister, Wise, and that's basically it right now.
Let me just say right here, we got Man of Tomorrow in the house listening. He's a brother that I have to. This is a brother that's he has a business. I believe he's in transportation trucks. He owns his own company. And we got to get this brother on so he can express and talk about his business, how he got into business. The brother's doing very well for himself financially. So, brother, Man of Tomorrow, if you're out there, I have not forgotten about us because I did already prepare, the actual live stream in terms of being able to fire it up. I'm just going to contact you, pick a day that works for you. And we'll get it going. George, Makem, if you're out there, brother George, I'm going to be getting you on. Moses, if you're out there, we're getting you on. Also, I've got to make contact once again with my man. He goes by the name the Minister of Wellness. He's been on some television programs. He's been on YouTube. He goes by the name the Minister of Wellness. We'll be bringing him on at some point in time. I'm making my contact with brother B Miles of the Conscious Channel 84. B Miles, I will be emailing you soon, brother, if you're listening. so that we can set up the definitely live stream interview. I'm definitely looking forward to connecting with brother Kevin Samuels. The brother is smooth, silky smooth. Get your cologne game on, baby. Get your wardrobe game on, brother. Get you a good shoe. You know, get you a good shoe on your feet, okay? Get your style together. Get your image together. Be confident in how you approach women in the dating game. This is the kind of stuff this brother talks about. He's a professional, a style coach. The brother is dynamic. Brother wears some tight suits. You gotta check him out. Check him out. Brother got some tight suits that he wears. And I've been checking his channel out now. I'm very impressed with the quality of what the brother's doing. But if you're listening to me, brother, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So now, brother, Gab Talk Media. This is the thing, brother. I can envision you, brother. This is the thing. You're powerful in your thinking. You're powerful in your philosophy. You have a very measured, like I said, way that you express yourself, the way you look at things. You're on the money. And brother, I'm going to be putting out good words about you, because we got to get you on some of these hangouts, these panels. I'm gonna be putting out good words for you, brother. We're gonna get you on these panels, brother. We're gonna get this. Gab Talk Media needs to get that voice, needs to carry out there, because you have a unique way of communicating, brother. And
Thanks, bro.
And this is what I noticed about YouTube. The brothers who really express themselves well, the brothers who really have something to say, we get lost in YouTube. Seems like the people who ain't got nothing to say, just a bunch of noise, right? Complaining about this, complaining about that, but no solution, or all this nonsense you see on YouTube. The brothers such as yourself, who really need to be the brothers that people need to be checking out, right? Brothers like yourself, you're talking relevant information. You're living the life. You're a living example of what a black family man should be about. Okay, you're living the life. You're not just talking it, you're living the life. And what kind of advice can you give to right now? What kind of advice can you give to if I'm a young man in my teenage years, what type of advice do you have for the young folks, young people out there who may listen to this? What are your words for them?
To spend time getting to know themselves from the inside, to study that which will help you become yourself and not a shell of yourself. Because usually in the schools that we have here, the typical school that we spend time in, is usually an assimilation processes where you learn to survive in there, especially when you're in adolescence. But when you come of some kind of age and that teenager gets some sense that they think a little differently, to hold on to that and fight your way through so that you could become that authentic self. So there are works, they don't come to mind for me right away, but that's probably where I need to go and polish my understanding of what it is that I'm trying to express, which is reuniting with yourself after you go through the life of trying to figure out which personality to use that makes people the most comfortable with you there. Those of us, it's too many of us doing that, and that really takes power away from you. So they need to practice becoming themselves and developing themselves, and not trying to fit in or live the life according to your neighbors or what other people think you should become. We can't, we no longer can live cliche lives. We have to become authentic. So that's the best way I could put it right now. I'm not satisfied. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not satisfied with the way that came out. I think some of you might understand where I'm trying to go, because I don't think a teenager would really understand all of that. My kids do, because I've been making them listen to me for a long time.
You said, hey,
you're gonna listen to this shit. I know you don't like it, but you're gonna listen to it.
Emphasis on listening. Emphasis on listening. You gotta listen. You gotta listen. Yeah, listen. You know, I'm glad that you're doing that with your kids, brother, because what I noticed, okay, check this out. Check this out, folks. Today, when I was coming home from work, I ran into a Target store. I was doing some shopping. I ran into a brother that I hadn't seen in years. He used to be a barber of mine. His brother was a Navy SEAL. Told me a lot of stuff that they've been doing in the military. He talked about things that he did in the Navy SEALs. A lot of stuff, interesting stuff that he told me. Okay, he has a son. His son played in the NFL. And now his son spent about 7 years in the NFL. And he told me, now this is a man that, you know, got a divorce from his wife, but he was always in his kid's life, every step of the way, right? And this is show you how the NFL is, man. And so his son and him his son was in the league for about 7 years. And he told me that his son, he read articles where his son was lying about growing up in the hood and not having a father. He said, that's a lie. I was there for him the whole time. That's a lie. And I know it's a lie. You know why I know it's a lie? Because I remember the young man when he was a little kid. And his father told me the closest he came to being in the hood is when he went to the barbershop. I know that because I was in that damn barbershop. So his son is telling a lot of false truths. And then he told me that I was trying to tell my son to save his money, invest in this and invest in that. And he said that his son got caught up in the Hollywoodness of the NFL, the flash of the NFL. And so this is an example of a father that's been in his son's life. His son sort of got himself caught up in the NFL lifestyle and began saying things that were not necessarily true about his father. Okay. And saying things about the family and the mother and things that weren't true. And he said that even when he tried to get him a connection with what's that company called Hot Wings, he was trying to go into investing in that.
Rick Ross?
Yeah, I think the Hot Wings, what is it? Wingstop. He was trying to get into a franchise with that. And he said while he was meeting with the business partner that would be his business partner, he was too busy playing on his phone. And I said to myself, that is one of the problems with some millennials, that they're so caught up in all of this, right? And not enough of this listening. Because the reality is that we got 2 ears, 1 mouth. So the question is to everybody listening, what's more important, talking or listening? Because you got 1 mouth, 2 ears. And the last time I checked, listening is an art, my brother. Listening is an art. So with that said, when you told me that you teach your kids certain values that they are emulating themselves, that is refreshing to me, because this brother is dealing with a son who he's saying to me today when I ran into him, I don't know who he is anymore, because I certainly didn't treat him like that. I certainly didn't do that to him. And he said he even had people in the NFL. Check this out. He told me when his son got married, he had all of his NFL buddies sitting up front. And he had his mama and daddy and family members sitting further to the back. And I can tell you that I know that that's not what was going on, because I remember the young man as a child. I've seen his family around him. I've seen how he was treated and how he was raised. He didn't grow up in the hood, but that's what he projected for the television cameras, for the article. See, this is the kind of shit that goes on in these professional leagues, man. You get in the NFL, you get in the NBA, whatever, and they start taking you away from who you are. And then they want you to paint this story that you come from the hood, that you some down and out story, man. And then the brother told me that he was told by one of these football players, oh, I found out that your son brought you this brand new car. He said, what you talking about? I never got any brand new car for my son, or did I ask for one? See, there's a lot of things that go on in these professional leagues with black men that we don't know about because we're not in the scene. But when I ran into his father, he's telling me stuff that's going on, stuff that had going on behind the scenes. So he's saying, hey, my son is living it. He said, my son is living with his girl. He's with his wife, and he doesn't have any of the money that he earned in the 7 years playing in the NFL. He's got nothing to show for it. He said as soon as his son started to have a little success, he let it go to his head. And now he told his son, you spend all that time and you didn't listen to anything else trying to tell you, young man. And this is why young people have to listen to older people, because older people, we can tell you we can show you where the landmines are, not to get your legs blown off. We can tell you where not to go to navigate in this life. You need to pay attention to whatever wisdom that an older brother can give you, and stop being on this attitude of I know it all. You don't know it all. I'm 48 years old. As Nilly Fuller Jr. always says, I'm still learning.
Still learning.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Let me play something by Nilly Fuller Jr., by the way, for folks to hear. Let me play this for a quick minute.
We have a code, and the code says one thing: we do not contact each other unless we have something constructive to say or do. Now that's dynamite right there. That will give the white supremacists a headache overnight. If every non-white person, every black person on the planet would just start doing that right this minute.
Information is power.
So I played that because constructive conversation is important to come to a solution with problems that one has. I believe, and maybe people in the chat room let us know, have we been having a constructive conversation, or is it a conversation that leads us to nowhere? Negative. Now, we can spend a lot of time on YouTube talking about what's wrong with the black community. God knows we've got problems. Okay, we've got problems with. We got problems. You know, we have problems with our women. We have problems with our men. We have problems that are causing us more problems. I was just looking at some documentation about the prison system in California and how black men are being impacted because they're trying to reshape the prison system in California. And once again, black males are being impacted. I'm going to probably do a program on it, but we got a lot of issues that we have to deal with. And I know there's black men out there who say to themselves, I shouldn't have to clean up the problems that Pookie, you've been hearing this, we've been talking this lingo, that Pookie and Ray Ray created. That I shouldn't have to be Captain Save the Community. I shouldn't have to put on a cape, you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I wish I had a cape that I could put on right now for y'all. Captain, and put a C on my chest with a cape. Captain Save the Community. Captain Save the Community. So we got brothers that are talking about that kind of stuff. I got to stand up. That chair is killing me right now. We got brothers in the community that are telling us my ass hurts. But anyway, I'm not sitting in my other chair. I tried a different style tonight. My ass is killing me on there. But anyway, we got brothers. We're on the O'Shea channel. We're on there with all the brothers talking. And we're saying, hey, it ain't my job to clean the community up, right? And then we have my man, Super Sly. Super Sly 75. If you're out there, brother, love you. More peace to you. Super Sly says,
yeah,
the black community's in a lot of trouble. It's scorched earth. I'm not in the mood to fix the goddamn black community. I got my own family to worry about. It's a done deal. We got to start from scratch. So he has that sort of philosophy that, hey, it is what it is. You know, my philosophy, I've been talking about mentoring, how we have to look at what can I do? What can you do as an individual? And some brothers, they don't have the time to get their hands dirty in mentoring. Okay. But they'll do what Booker T. Washington did. You could fund some of these groups that are out here doing things on the ground. I think it takes a complete prone situation. You got to have some of us that are going to give money behind the scenes. You have to have some of us on the ground. You have to have the proper education for our young people. You have to have brothers that have the ability to give them jobs or internships, right? Now ask yourself this. I want to get your opinion on this. You had black women who went to that, what was it? Was it a Chinese beauty store or something like that? Went to a place to get their nails or hair or whatever done, and they got attacked, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of us were outraged about this. But ask yourself, if we as black people complain about how we're being treated when we go into stores, Korean-owned beauty stores, and we're treated poorly, then why do we continue to keep patronizing these establishments when we are treated poorly in some cases? Stop going. Create your own beauty. When I was a kid, most of the black beauty supply stores were black owned. You didn't see other races running these stores. It was black people. Somehow we got complacent and let someone else take over a business. Now check this out. I was talking to a sister named Shirley, and I'm going to be bringing her on because she's dynamic and she talks about some of the problems in California as it relates to the immigrant issue, how black people are catching a lot of hell in California, especially in the Los Angeles area. We're all kinds of messed up out there. All right. She told me that somewhere in the country there's a Chinese restaurant that also selling soul food. I said, get out of here. It made me blow back. You know, I want to blow back. Like, whoa. What is happening to us when we've got other people making our food? And I said, now, sister, are they going in there buying this? They call it Chinese soul food. They're going in there buying this Chinese soul food? She says, yes. What is wrong with our people? Okay, check this out. Can you imagine black folks with a Chinese selling Chinese soul food? Can you imagine black folks owning a Chinese restaurant and selling Chinese? Do you think?
Nah.
Do you think they would come into our restaurants and sit down and say, "Honey, let's go to that restaurant that's owned by the black people who are making our food"?
It's not gonna happen.
No,
that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen with self-respecting community. You know, you can do what you want when you define yourself. And so I think black people are some steps away from trying to imitate others. We don't have the respect, the self-respect demonstrated at a high enough vibration in order to step out of finding ourselves. We have to define ourselves as a self-respecting community and live according to the principles that we've always preached about. The world, in my opinion, is expecting no less than God from us. So we have to exemplify and begin to express no less than Godhood. Doesn't mean that everybody's perfect, but the world is definitely expecting a supreme manifestation somewhere. And we've always said that we were those people and that we are chosen and stuff like that. But we might be being a little slow with the manifestation. And you know, I'm included in everything that I'm saying. A part of this is a flaw of mine too, you know, so it's not to point the finger. You said something about the person saving children, that they don't want to participate.
Well,
they want to wipe the slate clean.
Well, no, I guess what I'm trying to say is you have those of us in our community who say the Black community as it's comprised right now, those communities that have a lot of issues, it's a done deal. We can't save them. Even if you go out and you mentor so many kids, you do so many things with so many kids. This is some of the things I was hearing, that you don't really make a dent. And then there's some brothers who say, well, show me the statistics. Let me see the statistics, right? A lot of people want to see the empirical evidence. And my thing is that I go by my experience. And so the question is, I just believe, this is what I'm coming to, that maybe we can't rebuild the Black community as it comprises itself today in terms of the negative things that are going on in the community, right? But maybe we can rebuild a new Black reality with the young people that are being born today, tomorrow, yesterday, that will grow up, and we plant the right seeds in their brains. Maybe they'll carry us forward. Maybe that will carry us forward. That's what I guess I'm trying to say, brother.
Yeah, I think it's room in there for people to do different parts of the work. In terms of somebody trying to speak for the entire community, they just don't have the power or authority to carry something like that out, like leave somebody behind. I'm very suspect of people who are quick to leave behind or destroy, because we require a lot. My son is out this motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not interested in leaving him behind or my daughter behind because they ain't getting it yet. I got more work to do. So I died trying. So like people who don't, and I don't know if the people who make these claims, but here's a trend though. People who tend to put God aside, a loving, merciful, all of these things that we imagine of a beneficent God aside,
yes,
have destructive desires. It's kind of trendy. They don't mind wiping the slate clean because they think they're gonna make it. It's a little self-righteous, to be honest with you. They will lack patience. They will lack certain attributes because they're frustrated with the process of growing good crops. So they'll abandon this field because they don't know how to turn bad soil into good soil. So they'll leave, scorch it, and do something else with it.
Let me leave you with this, brother. And I said this about our ancestors.
Okay.
And I don't think that we today can, when I brought this up about our ancestors and how they would have given up, a lot of us would be probably not born or probably in bad situations. I mean, we'd probably be even worse off. And I think people can't relate to that because none of us can really imagine living 60, 70, 80 70 years ago. None of us. All we got to go on is what we either read in books, saw on film. But you got to keep this in mind. if Ned Turner would have given up, he was killed. They got him, they killed him. But the fact of the matter is the brothers stood up. Why did they stop Ned Turner in his pursuit to justice, equality? Why? It was another black person that told on Ned Turner.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So when Ned Turner did the slave rebellion, the reason why they were able to finally catch up with him and they grinded his bones, they did terrible things to him, by the way. It was another black person who wanted to stay comfortable on that plantation. See, sometimes we're comfortable. We're too goddamn comfortable. And so if you look at all of our ancestors that's come before us, we sell ourselves short when we dismiss the fact that they did everything they could to fight against their oppressor, to make our lives better today, so that me and you and Lions and everybody in the chat room are not running around with physical shackles, even though some would say we got mental shackles on our brain. Remember there was a song about that? What was it? Who sung that song? Was it Shackles on the Brain? Who was that sung that song?
I remember Shackles.
Shackles on your feet. Shackles on your feet, shackles on your brain too. Yeah. So I think a lot of times we as black people today, we got this slave mentality, shackle mentality on our brain because we're so easy to give up, or we're so easy to say, well, that's what it is, right? But had those black folks back in the day, and let's keep it real, none of us can relate to it because we weren't there. But the bottom line is, if they had given up, if Malcolm X would have said, I give up, I can't keep going anymore. Let me just go back to pimping, smoking reefer. If any of these people would have did that, where would we be today? So I just can't subscribe to the give up. Okay. I sell it all. I give up mentality. Now, do I understand and feel people's frustration?
Yes.
About their feelings of lack of hope and despair? I relate to it because there's times when I feel like that myself. Nobody's perfect, but I was once taught that no man is an island to himself. No man. You didn't get here by yourself because it took a man and a woman having sex to bring your ass here. Okay, I keep it real with you. No one is an island to themselves. No one gets anywhere just by themselves. Someone along the way helped you to get to where you are, whether it was a teacher, your father, your mother, an uncle, somebody, a best friend. Somebody did something that resonated for you in your life. So I want to leave you with that, brother, as we get ready to conclude tonight. Because I'm going to bring you back on, Brother Gab Talk Media. We're gonna be doing I like where we're going with this tonight. We're gonna have to bring you on and do a series of these with you, brother. I think I'm gonna have to call this. Hey, Lions Den, we're gonna have to call this Ask Gab Talk.
I like that. Ask Gab Talk.
Yeah. That's gonna be. Wait a minute. We just branded a new series. We're gonna brand it. So every week we're gonna kind of, if we can, we're gonna bring you on, brother. We're gonna call that the Ask Gab Media. We're gonna Ask Gab Talk.
I'm honored. I'm super honored.
Ask Gab Talk about this issue, that issue. Gab Talk. What are your thoughts, brother? So check this out, brother. Whether it's getting you on live like this, or whether it's me calling you and taking down a sound bite from you, whatever, we're gonna do it just like they do it on TV media. We're gonna get those. We're gonna bring you on. Let's get the Gab Talk report. Where's the Gab Talk? I want my Gab Talk report.
Tight, man. That's tight.
With the Gab Talk report. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna try to mix it up. And in the end, everybody in the chat room, if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe because you're listening to
Oh, hey, brother, was that you in the beginning with the music, the rap?
No. That music was brought to us by COG, Quest COG, is the production man behind that music. That brother is very talented. I hope he goes a long way with his music.
I know who you're talking about.
He's the producer of that production, both songs. And by the way, I must play this too because me and Lions Den were hanging out with Obama one night, and he dropped us a little line, and here it goes.
I am Barack Obama. You're listening to Lions Den and Information Man speak truth to power.
Okay, so there you have it. So brother, we're gonna get you in that. So we're gonna get you on, mix it up. Everybody in the chat room, definitely subscribe to Brother Gab Talk Media. I'm gonna put his link in the chat room again.
Thank you.
To his show. He also does speaker.com like me, so he does podcasting as well. Which Brother Gab, we're gonna definitely have to get you on the speaker to talk about issues, and we're on live on speaker tonight. So let me give some respect to people. Everybody, this is respect to you. To everybody that's listening to us out in speaker.com, thank you for listening to this broadcast. This will be on iHeart. This will be on iTunes, Spotify. This will be on Google Play. I'm able to port this over to Google Play as well, and some other social media outlets, your Facebook, your YouTubes, and all your not YouTube, we're on YouTube right now, but your Twitter, all of that. Everybody that's listening to me out there in Facebook Live, thank you for being with me tonight. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Information Man Show, and Gab Talk Media, Gab Talk Media. If you're new to the channel in the chat room, subscribe to my man Lions Den. It's just that plain, Lions Den. He gives a great what we would call reaction cam reporting. He reports on the news, what's happening around the world, and he gives a great reaction cam to it. Let me just say this too. We got Donald Trump getting his butt involved with what's going on in South Africa. As far as I'm concerned, the people of South Africa are a sovereign country. It's their damn business if they want to do what? Take the land, give it back to their people, because the whites that are in South Africa stole the land. They never had a bill of receipt for that land. They stole it. So I would say once again, give them back their land. Free of charge. There will be no money being given back because the land belongs to the people in the continent of Africa, in South Africa in particular, in this battle. So everybody in the chat room, thank you for being with us tonight. Hey, we got 89 TV Lions, and give them a little love in there before we end it tonight.
Yeah, we got 89 TV. We got Cookie Primos, Roseland, Vigaway, Bonafide 1970, Underrated Darkness in the building. The Real Aaron Collins is in the building. Art Nusar is in the building. Bismillah Ramani, I think she's gone, but pray for her. We got Y still in here. We got Queen My Girls TV still in here. Black First is in here. Queen, let's see here. I'm gonna try to go all the way up. Man of Tomorrow still in here.
Thank you for being with us, brother. Man of Tomorrow is a dynamic brother. We got to get him on. The brother's a businessman. He's got his own business, doing great things. We're going to get him on, speak his piece about various issues. Go ahead, Lions Den. You're doing a great job, brother, by the way tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, continue on. We got Nikki Justice in the building. Black Bruce Wayne Jr. is in the building. Let's see here. We'll go all the way up because there's a lot of people coming in our chat room. Fly C's in the building. Malcolm's in the building. And basically that is, let's see, hold on. Okay, Mike Biggs Boxing's in the building.
Oh, Mike's Biggs Boxing, love him. Mike's Big Boxing. If you like great boxing commentary, folks, go over to Mike's Biggs Boxing. Check him out, subscribe. Check out K Black too. He's another brother that's doing some great things on YouTube with his sports channel. Check out what's the other brother? 90. This is somebody else that has a channel in here. Let me flip through. Where is that at? Check out 89 TV. Salute to him. Oh, check out DJ Gamble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him a clap.
Yeah,
DJ Gamble. That's my man. DJ Gamble, I think, is in. What is he? Is he in New York?
That brother he speaks with an accent. It sounds like he has.
He got a British accent. He got British, that. Yeah, he got a colonial accent. He got a colonial accent. He speaks with a colonial accent.
Yeah.
We're speaking low German. We're all messed up in America.
Yeah, I was thinking Canada or maybe even overseas.
Yeah, I think he got a British type accent.
Yeah.
See what's happening to black folks. They took us from Africa, put us on slave ships, dropped us off in different places. So we got black folks in America talking low German. That's what we're talking, folks. Low German. English is low German on the language tree of German. We got brothers talking colonial language in Britain. We got brothers talking with a Caribbean accent. We got brothers talking Portuguese in Brazil. Look how they got us all mixed around, all twisted around. That was their plan. Get us to be separated from each other, make us think that we're different from one another by separating us by land, separating us by language and customs and all sorts of nonsense. But DJ Gamble is the man. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Everybody in the chat room, I'm going to put, once again, Brother Gab Talk Media's link in the chat room. I want to see him have an increase in subscribership. So let me say peace to Sister Cookie. And by the way, Sister Cookie, I got your message. I didn't block you out of the chat room. There's something going on with YouTube. They're real funny like that. They'll block people out of your chat room. Let me send Gabs. There's some funny business going on with YouTube these days. Also, let me give a shout out to Brother Yusef, the owner and operator of Black Junction TV. Yes, I'm very happy to say that I've made a friend with that brother. Every now and then I have conversations with him. And I'm telling you, folks, don't sleep on Black Junction TV. You've got to get your behinds. I was going to say get your asses over there. But you got to get your butts over there and support the stuff that's going on over there. If you're a content creator, create a channel over there. Don't sleep on Black Junction TV. It's going to blow up. The brother's still working on the streaming. Check this out. The only reason why YouTube is what it is today is because of black folks. So if we could turn YouTube into what it is today, don't tell me you can't turn Black Junction TV into a success. Or do you just not like your own people having a business? Because we're always talking about, I just wish we had this, and I wish we had that. And every time a black man or a black woman has this for you, you don't want to go and support it. You want to whine and cry. No, enough of that. Enough of that. Support that which is black owned and yours. Check this out. Brother Yusef is the owner along with his partner and another sister. There are no other investors. It's black for black people. Get your butts over there. Put content on there. Support others. But this will be on Black Junction TV, what we're doing tonight. Brother. With that said, any last words, Lions Den? Any last words? We're going to give it to Gab Talk. Any last words, Lions Den?
Yeah, I would like to enjoy Gab Talk Media for, he comes in and he's from the DMV like me. And I hope we can hook up soon, Mr. Gab Talk Media, since you from my turf. So, my point is that I hope we can bring you back real soon. You're really intelligent, great brother to talk to, and I wish we can talk soon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, we will be talking soon. Go ahead, Brother Gab. Give your last words, not your last words. I gotta figure out about it. I hope not. No. This is the words that I should be saying. Bless us with your words, not last words. Bless us with your words.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the people for the opportunity, brother. I appreciate your support. You reached out a long time ago when I was itty bitty channel and have boosted my subscribers a great deal intentionally, and I'm forever grateful. I appreciate you and the brother Lions Den's hospitality. Always, not just on this show, but always. I like you guys, how you work as a team to run this platform. So I'm grateful. I appreciate the people, like I said, in your chat. They pushed me up to 495. Y'all almost got me to 500. So I got about 5 or 6 out of there tonight, squeezed them out of there. So I appreciate a lot of people. Your subscribers are already subscribed to me.
I appreciate everybody who is supporting this brother and has been supporting Lions Den. Now, we know that there was a little bit of drama had been going on, but me and Lions Den, we're going to keep trucking along, stay on the positive level, do what we
Absolutely.
have to do. This is what I'm feeling, brother. There's big things on the horizon because, like I said, I want to put out good words for Gab, Lions Den, because I think you brothers need to be on some of these panels that I've been blessed to be on. I think brothers like yourself have great talent. Gab, you have a lot of powerful things to say, and I want to put a good word out for you because I think this is what's important. I know a lot of people will tell you when you go on YouTube, stay away from this person, stay away from that person. But see, I like talking to people who have different views than me, who may have a different view. I like debating, and I like seeing if I can persuade a person's thinking. Okay, so when I first encountered O'Shea, I know there's some people who may not like Brother O'Shea Jackson for whatever their reasons, but when I first encountered him, when I was on Dynasty's channel, Brother Search for Uhuru, check him out too.
Yeah,
I had a chance to do it with him. I said, I told him, if I ever get a chance to get my hands on you, brother, I'm gonna get my hands on you. And you know, he told me, and he said to Aaron too, when Aaron was on, he said, I know you think I'm a coon information man. I know you think I'm a coon.
Yeah,
I know what y'all think about me. But I understand, brother, that you think I'm a coon, but I'm coming around. I said, yeah, you coming around, and we're going to keep making you come around. But let me just say this. The brother has been more than hospitable to me.
Yeah.
He has allowed me to get connected with very well new YouTubers that I may have opportunity to do collaborations with. He has allowed me to come on his platform and talk about issues that are important to the Black community. And I have to say that no matter what you believe, what you think about his politics, the one thing I have to be honest with myself about, he does bring on a variety of different Black men who have different thoughts. It's not just Black men that are all conservative. He'll have Black men who believe in MGTOW. He's interviewing Black men from over in the UK to get their opinions on things, right? He's doing shows where he's bringing Black men on who have businesses, like Man of Tomorrow, who's in the chat room. Check him out, okay? He's bringing Black men on that are doing things, that are millionaires, that are doing things in the community. Brother Moses, who he went to school with, that brother is absolutely amazing. Brother George Macomb, who was a big fixture on the SINETA program in New York and all of that. That brother's deep. So he don't just have a panel of just people who are just conservative and think that Donald Trump's draws don't stink. He has opposing views, right? Now he has ABL on there. I don't agree with a lot of things that ABL says. He's a conservative brother from West Virginia, which is a very racist place, by the way. I don't agree with him, but you know what? I enjoy dueling with the guy. I enjoy pushing my thoughts, because if you allow there to be only one narrative and you have young people listening and watching, you need to have all types of different opinions, right? So that's why I enjoy getting on there and talking to different people who have different opinions than me, and some that have the same opinion as I do. I think it's very healthy, because Black people are not all monolithic. We don't all think alike. We come from different economic classes. See, people think that all Black people are just poor in the ghetto. That's a stereotype. You got middle-class Black folks. You got upper-middle-class Black folks. You got Black folks that are rich. You got Black people that are just, oh, Lordy, let me just get through rent, right? We got Black folks in all walks of life. And we have to remember that. But if you have never been exposed to that, then you'll think some kind of way about it. You'll think, oh, we're all this way. So that's why, and then there's Black people who are heavy into statistics. I'm not. I want to look at what is the experience that one has had? So, Brother Gab, we're gonna, like I said, brother, we're gonna have the Gab report. We're gonna have the Lions Den report. We're gonna have the podcast. We're gonna get the opinions. We're gonna do this, brother. We're gonna grow together, and hope that through growing, that we will impact a young mind. Okay, Brother Urema brought me onto his platform just last week. Love the brother. He's gonna be doing a unity walk in Oakland. He told me, brother, I want you there. I want you to be a guest speaker. So he put my feet to the fire and said, you got to get behind all of this screen. We got to get you out. And I said, brother, when you come to Oakland, I lived in Oakland, I'll be there. He said, brother, we need you to speak. I could have cold feet and say no and make up excuses. No, I'm taking on a challenge to get out there with the brother. That's what it's about. Thank you, everybody. Gab Talk Media, you're the best, brother.
Oh, I appreciate you, brother. Y'all got me 500.
All right, everybody, subscribe. Let everybody know about Gab Talk Media.
Yeah.
Thank you. By the way, again, I'm probably, tomorrow is Friday night, so I'm probably going to play the Black Preacher. It's about an hour and a half long that me and Lions Den did about the Black Preacher. And we're going to probably live stream that. I'm probably going to fire it up and live stream the whole thing for you guys to enjoy, listen to it, get whatever you can get out of it. I think we did a pretty decent job. There are some surprising statistics about the Black church that will definitely kick your shoes off. So we're going to do that tomorrow. I believe on Saturday, I got to contact them because I may or may not be able to do it. I got some brothers that are into, they're businessmen. They have a channel about business, and I'm going to probably be interviewing them. And then I'm waiting to get in contact with my man. I'm waiting to hear from Kevin Samuels so that we can get into the Black man fashion, dating, essentializing your wear, the right type of shoe. Look at this. This is a nice shoe. It's a very nice shoe. The right kind of shoe. Get your perfume game on, as he would say. Get your style on. Get the right kind of attitude, confidence in yourself. And then there's man tomorrow who I'll get on and he'll talk about how do you build your business. Okay. Then there's the Minister of Health that'll be coming down the pipeline. And there's a few more tricks I got up my sleeve. I got a brother who is a book writer, an author that I got to get on. Then I got another brother that I talked to. He sent me his book. He had a book called The End of White Supremacy. I'm going to be I've been studying that book, and we're going to be doing a show with him and so much more. We're going to mix it up, okay? We're going to mix this up with different guests, different attitudes, different styles. I got Sister Shirley that I got to get her on. So many things to do, but not enough time, but it's going to be done. If I'm alive and willing to do it and able to do it. So with that said, folks, Lions Den, let's fire it up, brother. This has been great tonight. It really has. Let me fire it up.
Oh, Info.
Yes, sir.
Before we close this, I'm working on a story right now about a 5-year-old has been picked on by a white man and called a racial slur. So I'm working on that after we end the show tonight.
Oh, I understand. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, let me share the beautiful thumbnail again with everybody as we fire up the music. And Brother Gab, thank you, brother. We're going to do this again. We're going to get you on a lot more, talk about various issues, brother. I will be contacting you, brother, about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a nice thumbnail too, man.
Thank you. I love thumbnails. I love
Good
it.
art.
It's one of my things, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong.
Many
I need
things.
to stick my I love the thumbnails, brother. It's kind of my little niche thing that I do. Let me stick my little thing over here and let's get it going. And thank you, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.
One love, guys.
All right. So we're having some technical difficulties with that.
Yeah. Thanks a lot again, bro. You off air now, or you still?
No, still on air.
Oh, okay.
I'm having some Isn't it funny how technical things happen at the wrong time? We're still on air live with speaker and everything. We're not off air. Let me fix this real quick. I wanted to play a little parting music, and maybe this will work now. Let me start with my theme music here. And oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Here we go.
It's the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the Melton Info Show. It's the info. It's the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the Melton Info Show. It's the info. We got the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the Melton Info Show. It's the info, man. You can call him information info, man. Kicking knowledge all over this nation. We ain't lose the draw. You can bring your hate team, but if you want to win, please don't bring your debate team. We talk to Japanese, so good. Aztecs, old mix, and African doga.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. It's been great. Gab Talk Media was great.
Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's the info man and the Lions Den. 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 It's the info man, yup, it's the Lions Den. Yup, you can't fuck with us, no, so stop trying then. Still, it's the info man, yup, it's the Lions Den. Yup, you can't fuck with us, no, so stop trying then. Still heavyweight, so they try to infiltrate with hate. Knocking my milk up off my plate, but we do not take the bait. Don't hesitate, when it's time to do it to it, we still do they bullshit like how it's stirring fluid. Wait a minute, Lions Den. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Lions Den. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's the info man and the Lions Den. 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 Raise your ass about your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lion or info team. Raise your ass about your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lion or info team. Raise your ass about your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lion or info team. Raise your ass about your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lion or info team. It's the info man and the Lions Den. It's the info man and the Lions Den. It's the info man and the Lions Den. It's the info man and the Lions Den.
Information is power.
I want to let everybody know that our children are being attacked. We spend a lot of time talking about what's happening to Black adults, but a child being peed on, our kids are being we're under attack as a people. Somehow we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do. This cannot be happening. We cannot allow this to happen. Our kids being picked with in this system. This is amazing. Everybody check out Lions Den report on what happened to this young child. This makes no sense. It's crazy. It's getting crazier. I'm sure a lot of you saw the video with the white guy that was causing problems in Africa. I think he was in South Africa or Ghana somewhere, and he got arrested and he was acting a plumb fool. This is what's going on, and we gotta come together as a people, stop separating ourselves by religion, stop separating ourselves in this tribal system, and not come together, work together. Hell with coming, we got to work together and cut out all of this nonsense about if you're to be woke, you have to be aware. People are always saying they're woke. No, you have to be aware first. You can't be woke if you're not aware of what's going on. Get out there, study, read, look for alternative news information to open up one's mind. Tomorrow night, I will, if I can, present the preacher, the Black preacher presentation, and that will be fired up live for folks to enjoy. So until then, let me take this beautiful thumbnail off of here. I want to thank you all. Let me see here. All for being with us because you are what makes this work. Everybody in speaker.com that's been listening, people that will be listening iHeart, Spotify, iTunes, thank you for being with us as well, listening. I definitely appreciate this. I appreciate your time and effort. At the end of the day, I'm simply trying to provide information that can enlighten our people, that can inspire us, empower us. Now, you'll see me on panels occasionally debating with people, but I think that's very important. Even if I don't agree, even if you don't agree, or I may not agree with people on the panel or people hosting programs, at the end of the day, we as Black people have to figure out common ground, work together. If you are for the liberation, the empowerment of our people, and as Brother Hollips would say, of the BAIO, we need nationhood, we need infrastructure, we need a nation. With that nation comes land. Very important. That's what we need. With that, I wish you all a good evening, a good day the next day, and I'll probably fire something up tomorrow evening. Thank you.